Welcome to Morrigan's Cottage. Morrigan's Cottage is a 200-year-old cottage set in Ireland's beautiful and wild west. Hi guys, welcome back to Morrigan's Cottage. You might see Morrigan here behind me. She's telling on me we're not actually at the cottage. We're here up in Dublin in my parents' house. Okay, Morrigan is now here. She wanted to say hi. Say hi. She's like, to who? To the video. Anyway, welcome back to another video, not at Morrigan's Cottage, but about the cottage. If you're new here, Morrigan's Cottage is a 200-year-old Irish cottage, and we have been on a process of getting this cottage habitable, renovated, and ready for it. Myself, Morrigan, and my little cat Bonnie, who's over there, off camera, moved into the house. So we've waited almost 18 months for this. It's crazy to believe that I bought the house, what, December? Very start of December 2023, I think it was, and we're now mid-April 2024. But yeah, we bought the house, Weezy, me and Morrigan, 18 months ago nearly. The end of May, it'll be 18 months, I can't believe it. And we began our renovation journey for the last 18 months, most of it just waiting and waiting for the grant approval to come through. But yeah, it's time. 3 weeks ago, Desi and Francis from DG Developments, you'll know them if you watch the Irish Homestead or if you watch Camper Vibes, we all use the same builder. But he and Francis, Desi and Francis came and they started work on the house roughly 3 weeks ago. At this point, you have seen the roof come off and the roof go back on again. So the roof is now safe, sound and secure. But I thought what we do in today's video is do a mid-renovation update, Morrigan, and just show you what's been going on, because lots has happened. There's been a lot of ups and I'm thrilled with how the house is turning out. But there's been some stressful times. There's been a few downs. The house has like naturally thrown some scariness. Not for me really to deal with. Thankfully the builders have to deal with this now, and with Joe kind of working on things in the background, things have been flying along. But yes, there has been some stressful moments, particularly in week 1, and we're just after finishing week 3 at this point. So the house has changed a lot, and what I'm going to do is, after this little update, I will give you a before and after of how things are looking at the moment, because Dad and I were just down at the weekend. So yeah, so lots has been going on, and I can barely keep up with what actually has happened, and by the time you see this video it'll be another couple weeks and the house will be finished. Hopefully, I can't wait. I should say before we get into the video, do make sure you follow us on Instagram, because I do have some behind the scenes pictures and things like that there. And then if you want to follow on TikTok, I'm going to link my TikTok, but also Desi's TikTok below, because there might be a video on there of my house. So if you have TikTok, make sure you go check out his channel and check out mine, because I'm going to post stuff too. But do make sure you follow the Instagram, or yeah, the Instagrams. I'll put the link up here. And look, a rare Bonnie appearance. She's just there. Morrigan's there chewing on something. And do make sure, if you want, to make sure to like the video, comment and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Something like 50% of that people that watch the videos aren't subscribed. So make sure you hit subscribe if you want. You don't have to, no pressure. But if you like the video, do make sure to like it, because it helps other people that are interested in doing something similar find the video. So that's always nice to impart my knowledge on them, which is to get professionals. Don't do it yourself, get professionals. So yeah, really excited to show you. So after I kind of go through what's been going on, you'll see the changes, and there's been lots, so it'll be worth the wait. And yeah, this is just kind of to give you that update on what's been going on, why things look the way they look, and all the crazy things that have happened. And it will feature Morrigan playing in the background. Sorry. There's never a time where we have no background noise here. It's just always noisy. So anyway, we'll start with week 1. So like I said, that was when the roof was on, then it was off again. But by Friday of week 1, when I was back up in Dublin working away, I got an email from Joe that was like, do you have 15 minutes to talk about what we found? And immediately I knew problems. Yeah, if the engineer is messaging you asking you for 15 minutes to just talk things through, there's problems. Now I have notes just here in front of me, so if you see me look down, it's because I made a note of all the problems we've been having. So with the roof, talked about it enough in previous videos. It was in bits, it was awful. They weren't sure how it stayed on, but the roof is fixed. Everything's great. Everything went to plan with the roof pretty much. I mean, it was awful, and I feel like they were dreading doing it, but it went to plan, thank God. We are pretty much still on track time-wise for the renovation. We planned to finish it like, I think, first week of May, and I think we're kind of on track for that at the moment, so we'll see. So end of April, first week of May, hopefully keys back in my hands and moving in, so I can't wait. And yes, if you're wondering, we will be moving in as soon as we get the keys back from Desi. I mean, not like the literal actual keys, I still have those, but once he's finished, once he and Francis have finished up, we will be moving straight in, and then so much will need to get done still, because they're just doing the big couple questions. Is the roof staying a metal roof? The answer is yes. We're not changing that because we need planning permission to have a tile roof. I'd much rather a tile roof, but I don't want to pay for planning permission, and also it's very hard to get anything approved, and it's very slow. So we're just staying with the metal. The metal was in good shape, so they were like, let's just keep it at that. So that's what we're doing with the roof, because I saw a couple of questions about it. So then by Thursday, I think it was, they had the roof fully fixed and back on, and that was great. So they moved indoors, and the strip out started and the problems started. So first thing they did was they ripped up all the floors in the living room and the bedrooms. And basically what they found, from my very layman understanding of buildings and stuff like that, the concrete floors were in bits, and not only were they in bits, they were all uneven. So like patches of the floor would be like 4 inches higher than the other. It was all cracked and crumbly. So obviously it couldn't be, used. So that was problem number one. Now, normally what you would do is rip up all the cement, re-pour it, put like, I don't know, waterproofing or whatever the building term is, you would put that down. But we couldn't do that. And the reason we couldn't do that is because they also found that the walls of the extension, so imagine the entire back half of the house, the walls of the extension were in really bad condition. And they were worried that if we lifted up the floors, those walls would like implode with the weight of the brand new roof. So what do? They had to even out the floors pretty much by hand and then re-pour, and they put like waterproofing and vapor barriers, I don't know, all that kind of stuff in. So the floors look great. You're going to see them in the next little bit. So that's one thing off the list done. But yeah, the unstable walls, then that was kind of the next sort of thing they had to deal with. And the walls in the front of the house, the walls that I've been repointing, those are fine because I did them, so they're great. But the walls in the back of the house are made with like blocks, and it was done in like the 40s or the 50s, so it wasn't done very well. This isn't like the previous owner. It would be like the previous owner. It was a long time ago that it was done, nearly 100 years ago. Wow, that's actually crazy to think that the extension was done nearly 100 years ago and it's still standing, considering how bad it is. But yes, so that wall, they had to address the problem where now the roof is a lot heavier. Could the wall handle the weight of the house? This is something we were prepared for, so it wasn't too much of a surprise. But basically what they've done is now, and again, not a builder, don't really understand what they're doing, but they did like timber stud walls internally that are going to be like structural walls, but also for insulating and plastering. So it's going to look pretty, and it's going to be nice and stable and strong. So that was kind of another thing ticked off the list by the end of week 1, start of week 2. So once the builders got the floors even, that's when things started to move really quickly again, and the stress was taken back off of me. And by stress, I actually didn't find out about any of these problems until like after they'd already figured out how to fix them. They were just kind of keeping me in the loop. But yeah, basically they moved on from the floors to kind of just fixing up the walls. As you know, there was holes in the walls. So Francis and Desi got to fixing those. That needed to be done before like the electricians and the plumbers came in. I did see a couple questions on videos if I would put in like an upstairs or if I would take down walls, like maybe between the kitchen and the living room or anything like that. And the answer is we can't. No, we are not doing that because it's just going to be a bungalow. It's always going to be a like one level cottage. So just structurally, unless I end up getting like in the future like steel frames or something put in, it's just not going to happen. So it will always be a bungalow, which actually I prefer because when I get old, I'm not going to want to go up and down stairs. So bungalows are perfect. So yeah, once Desi and Francis had the stud work done in all the rooms, then the electricians and the plumbers came in. That was like reasonably straightforward in the sense that like we knew exactly what they were doing. They sockets were marked. They were just going to pick where the radiators were going to go. So that was all pretty straightforward. They came in, they ripped out all the old electrics and all the old plumbing and everything like that. They did find lots of like random live wires that didn't go anywhere. So you'd have like a live electric wire that just went into a concrete wall and then it was just there. So they all had to be like very safely removed and dealt with, because obviously that's a problem. And then they did find random pipes that were just like full of water and didn't go to anywhere. They were just in the walls. So lots of pipes, lots of wires that didn't go anywhere. It was all just kind of like randomly placed. It did lead to a problem of the stove. So the beautiful stove in the living room. So they removed that, and then when they removed that, the plan was they were going to put in a new flue in the same spot, and I was just going to get a stove, and we were going to get a stove connected. It was going to be lovely. But the flue was actually this is so bad. The flue was going through plasterboard. It was like a big no-no for fire safety. So anyway, the flue had to come out. The stove is going to be moved over into the corner of the room, and I'll show you in the video so you can see where the plan is for the stove. And it would be so expensive. You'd have to get like special engineers out to put the new flue and everything in. So what we decided to do is, because we're already way over budget, they have made a spot in the ceiling and the roof so that like when the stove does get installed, it's really straightforward for the person to put the flue up. So the stove is going to be a future project. Unfortunately, we won't have it finishing up this phase of the building, but before next winter, my plan is to have a stove put in, all going to plan. So that, yeah, that was a big problem with the stove. Like, oh my god, the amount of problems, like live wires going into random walls and just dangling in between the plaster, pipes, pressurized pipes going places that there's no reason for it to go. And then the stove, like, I don't know how this house didn't burn down a long time ago. But yeah, so that was the stove. And then kind of connected to the stove is the utility room. Now, the utility room was never part of the renovation plan for this point in time. So the little utility room, I will show it in the video after this. But the roof above that is in bits, and it's actually not connected to the house, so all the rain comes in through that. And there's like holes in the walls and stuff, so like mice and stuff are getting in through there. That's where most of the mice are caught coming in. So it wasn't in the original plan to get that fixed up, but now the plan is, as far as I know, they are going to re-roof that, and they're going to put stud work up and plaster. Yeah, next after that, so we had the first fixes of the electrics and the plumbing, and then Desi and Francis got to work on insulating everything and putting up the plasterboard before they start like plastering all the walls. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else that's been done? The gutters have been done. They need to finish the gutters, but that is well on its way to being done. Most of the stud work is done. They just have to do the bathroom. The bathroom starts next week. They're going to rip it out. Unfortunately, obviously, the stone walls will have to be covered. It is what it is. It was like, have a damp, cold house that I've just spent thousands and tens of thousands of euros on to have a damp and cold bedroom, or have beautiful stonework exposed. So yeah, that's kind of not the plan anymore. So that lovely fireplace we found is gone, but it is what it is. The only thing I will say is I'm going to keep the bedroom a secret. So the bedroom is going to stay off the videos for now, because that will be the first room that gets like the proper full renovation done when I'm finished with it. So once the builders hand back the keys, I am going to start doing floors. I'm going to do painting. That room is going to be done straight away, because obviously it's the room we're going to spend most of our time in. So that room I'm going to keep a secret from you guys just until it's maybe half finished, or as I do projects I'll add little pieces to it, but I just think it might be nice to have like a surprise where I can put up a video and be like, here's how I did my bedroom start to finish. At least I think it'll be a nice surprise, maybe not. So yeah, that is the midpoint on the renovation. Now you're going to see the befores and the afters so you can see just what's been done. When I tell you I am thrilled with what the builders have done, like I couldn't have had a better experience so far with the builders. Desi and Francis are fantastic. I can't sing them enough praises. They don't need me to recommend them because, well, like bigger, YouTubers have recommended them and they're booked up for like 2 years or something. Or like a year at least, so they don't need me recommending them. But if you're thinking about hiring Desi and Francis for anything, all I can say is absolutely go for it. They have been fantastic and they have done problem solving and working things out and getting things done within pretty much budget. Like we are over budget because we're doing extra work that we hadn't kind of decided we would do, so that's like my fault that we're over budget, but we're on track with it all, and like I just couldn't be happier with how things are going. So I hope you enjoy the rest of this video now and the tour, and just remember that even if you might have done something differently, or if you don't like how something's being done, this is the way it has to be done. We're taking the builder's advice, as people have told me from video 1, is to get the professionals in. We have the professionals in, and this is what they think is the best way to do the house to make it safe and strong and last another 200 years. So yeah, if you don't like something, then that's okay, but just remember that I have to look at it for the rest of my life, so don't point it out to me if you're annoyed by something, because then I'll think about it for the rest of my life. But yeah, I can't wait to get the builders finished so I can move in, and then we can start like painting and decorating and picking colours and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed this update. We're 3 weeks into a 6-week renovation, so might turn into 7 weeks, I'm not sure. But we're about half done at this point, and I hope you enjoy what you see, and make sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you think. If it's nice. Don't comment if it's not nice. Okay, bye. So our first stop on the before tour is the outside, and hopefully you take note of the bad roof and the guttering, because that's what's going to be changing. And switching over to our kind of mid-renovation after, you can see the roof and the guttering look so much better now. Like, it's just so neat and tidy. The fascias or the soffits or whatever these wooden things are, these were fully replaced as they were rotten, and each of the little pieces there on the inside had to be hand cut because of course the wall is not square. We've got wiring for new lighting, which is brilliant, and then they just have to finish off the downspout for the gutters, and the gutters will be complete, which is really exciting. Jumping back to the before, let's take a look at the hallway. As you can see, just a standard hallway. We've got the office to the left, kitchen straight ahead, and then the bathroom is to the right. Nothing is really going to be changing in here, but let me just show you now the after. So, like I said, not a lot is changing except for the fact that it's a little bit dustier and a little bit messier. We are not changing the walls or anything like that at the moment, but we do have wiring in for new light switches, shower, everything like that out here. And you will also see some new piping coming out of the wall, which is for the radiator that's going to be out here, which is really exciting to have that as well. Now going into the bathroom, so nothing has been done with the bathroom at the moment, so here is just a quick look at the before. And you can't really see it in this video, but the floor is quite uneven, which the builders are going to be fixing for us. It's got a big like dip down in the middle of the floor, so that has to be addressed. But yeah, nothing much has changed, so let's take a little look at the current after. Like I said, it's the exact same. Nothing has really changed with it, and nothing will change with it till more towards the end of the renovation. Moving on to the office. So this is the before of the office, and I think you will see the most difference in this room and also in the living room. But yeah, this is the before. quite messy. You can see the old fireplace. That's the dodgy wall that has like some rocks and stuff missing out of it. So it's a bit of a mess at the moment in this room. And this is going to be the office space that will double up as a extra spare bedroom if needed. So just taking a look now. Look how lovely it looks. All new floors. The floors were an absolute mess. They were just not good. Obviously we don't need a hot water press anymore, so that's gone. But you can really see, like, here's another look at the before where the window was, and obviously the little bit of wall that we repointed and everything like that. A little sneak into the other room, but look how good it looks now. The windows look incredible. What they've done with the window kind of sills on the inside, it just looks so good. And obviously we've got the electrics, new sockets, new light switches, and a radiator that's going to work. And then I think they used cozy board, but I'm not 100% sure. But all of this plasterboard is also going to be plastered over, so it's going to look really good. And this is going to be our new kind of like plumbing service kind of nook, that if anything goes wrong with the plumbing, the plumber just has to come in and look in this nook and he'll be able to see whatever he needs to see. But now making our way into a kitchen. Obviously the kitchen is not being changed at the moment, so just giving you a look at it at the moment, because some small little things have changed, but not a lot will be changing with the kitchen in this phase of the renovation. Once the renovation grant money comes back, hopefully it comes back in full, if we get that injection of 50,000, that will then be reused to put a whole new kitchen in, and it's going to look so good. And you're going to have to help me pick colours, because I thought I liked dark blue, but now I'm leaning towards crimson. But this is the kitchen now, mid-renovation, so it's kind of a storage space for everything. And it's one of the only parts of the house that still have electricity, so they have to run their batteries and everything from in here. But Desi and Francis did put in a whole new wall. Here we have where the radiator is going to be, which is really exciting. We're going to have heating in the kitchen. But they put this new wall in because you might be able to see in the video, there's about, I think he said like 7-inch lean from the bottom of the wall to the top of the wall. So they just straightened that out with structural timbers. And then just having a look at this kind of corridor again, the before. So you're just seeing what it looked like when I handed the keys over to them. And now you're going to see how it's looking at the moment. So obviously it still looks pretty rough because they are still working on putting that structural stud wall in. All the new electric wires, and you can see the insulation that they're putting in, but it's going to be so good. And there's my attic, a little look up to where the current electricity is. Absolute mess up there. And now into the guest bedroom. And again, the guest bedroom is not really on the list of things that they're going to be changing. Not a whole lot is going to look different by the time I get the keys back from them, but this is how it's looking at the moment. This is obviously where me and Morrigan stay when we're down at the house, and windows I'd love to change, but not in the budget at the moment. But this is how it's looking now. And then view from the other side. This is the doorway and everything like that. So this is how it's looking at the moment. And current mid-renovation, this is where we're at. Another dumping ground at the moment. They've done the wiring for new sockets and plugs and light switches and everything like that. And they are replacing this bit of roof here at the top. The ceiling is getting replaced. Oh, there's a big bumblebee in here. Oh no. Oh, I bet that came from the... Come on, bumblebee. Come on. We're gonna get you out. Look. Use your brain. Hang on. Do I have anything to whoosh him? Go on. Go on, you silly bee. Up, up, up. What are you doing? Come on. Go up the window. Do I have... Here, go on this. Don't sting me. Come on. Don't be so stupid. Don't be so silly. Come here. There. Ah. Crawl on this, silly bee. Here. There you go. Up, up, up. Here. Crawl on this. Come on. What a stupid bee. Call on this. There, keep going. No! Bumblebee saving aside, here's a quick before look at the living room, which had, by the time I handed the keys over to Desi and Francis, had turned into like a dumping ground for the bathroom, the lawnmower, pretty much everything. So it looks very messy and unkempt, but this is where the living room is before the builders came in. Okay, we saved the bee. Now into the kitchen. Like I said, nothing has changed. And into the living room. And it looks beautiful. Show everyone your living room, honey. So we've got sockets. Some more sockets over here. This is where the radiator is going to go. Sockets. This is where the stove is going to go. More sockets, light switch for the switch outside. Another radiator is going to go here, so we're going to be lovely and warm. And more sockets over here. So it looks great. Obviously the ceiling is lower, but it's still really big and really bright compared to how it was. So it looks brilliant. And then last but not least, I'll show you in here to the utility room, which is currently a storage room for everything. My lovely bathroom is in here. And the plan is when they get good weather again, the roof's going to get replaced. Obviously all this will go and they're going to stud this room. And, oh my God, there's another bee stuck in there. That's like stuck in the glass. So that's going to die. There's nothing I can do. And then the flue is going to be gone because the flue, as it turns out, was just going through plasterboard and it was very dangerous. So anyway, that's this room.